for the introduction. Thank you for making us introduced to other members also, and thank you Sandeep ji for organizing this particular session. It's going to be very insightful session for all of us, and probably we'll be sharing a lot of details about DNB, what sort of business that we are into, and how we can actually help different partners that are there on screen right now, or maybe on this particular session, and how we can help them in increasing their business in different parts of the world, right? So thank you for bringing everyone under one platform. Right. Just to introduce myself, Amanpreet Bindra. I'm working as a regional sales head for North India as well as for East India, and I'm handling two businesses for DNB, which is for domestic market as well as for international market. So today we'll be talking about the international market. Like if in case you are into manufacturing or you wanted to export something outside India, that could be maybe a paper product, or I can see many people are from clothing industry, and some of them are also from children book exporter and other industries also. So we'll help you out to understand how you can find out new buyers through our platform, right? And how authentic that buyers or those buyers would be, right? What is the importance of getting you as a DUNS verified, right? And if in case you're getting into a relationship with any of the client, right, you wanted to start the business and all, right, you wanted to get the credit worthiness before starting off everything. So we even have that kind of provision also, wherein we can give you the report about those particular companies, so that you can get to know what is the credit worthiness, whether we should be working with this company or not, right? But that obviously comes at a later stage once you finalize with the respective buyers that you wanted to work with, these particular buyers or these particular clients, right? Nikhil is a part of my team, right? So he take care of again the North India as well as the East India market, right? We'll be sharing our platform in just in short time, and we'll be just walking you through what all we have on Hoover's platform. But just to give you the description about DNB, like the introduction about DNB, what all we do and how things are there and what all we cover, right? So just to update you, DNB is a 200-year-old company in the market, right? We started in 1865 when East wanted to do a business with West, right? But they are not aware of how authentic that particular client or company would be. So we came into existence and we said we do those kind of verification for you, so that you can do the business in an easy way or maybe in an easy way. And that is how we came up with the concept called a DUNS number. So DUNS number is the unique identifier number. It's a kind of Aadhaar number for a particular company. So let's say an example, if you have about 5 or 6 branches, right, you would be having different DUNS number for each and every branch. And we can really well recognize in our system like which is the parent company, and under that particular parent company how many more subsidiaries or branches are there, right? So if I give you an example called Walmart, right? Now, Walmart is having about more than 3,500 subsidiaries or branches. Now, it becomes very difficult for anyone to understand, how they are spread it out in geographical segmentation, into industry segmentation, which all business they deals into, right? But this DUNS number makes it easy for everyone, because we have assigned a DUNS number for each and every branch of Walmart, which is located in different part of the world, so that we can make you understand about which is the parent company, and under parent company how many more subsidiaries or branches are there, right? And DUNS number also give you authentication to the buyer or maybe to the other party which is there probably on the other side, right? So when we say it's a DUNS verified number or DUNS verified company, so there is a trust that gets built up because it's very prominent in US, UK, Europe, and other locations, right? We are into different other business line also, like we do different kind of credit evaluation, we do vendor evaluation. So most of the company come to us which is into manufacturing or which is providing some sort of infra services or other services also, those kind of solution also. They wanted to understand with whatever companies they're dealing into, right, what is the credit worthiness of that particular company. Is it probably that they'll be probably going to be bankrupt in few days, or is it any kind of litigation which is going around on the promoters or on the directors of those particular companies? How solid that company is, how many liabilities they have, how many assets they have. If we are giving some sort of credit, are we extending the right amount of credit to them, those kind of things. And even these reports bank also ask. So when a particular company, goes for any kind of working capital, or they wanted to open up LC, right? So usually bank asks for a DNB report. That DNB report, is basically, published, by us. I would also like to request one thing, like, I think I'm getting a lot of questions in between on the chat, right? We can keep and we can hold our questions maybe at the end of the session. We'll keep about 10-15 minutes wherein we can take all the questions in one go and try to, help you out to make you understand about, whatever queries you have. Right, and accordingly we'll take it forward from there. So I would request if you can note down your questions and keep it with you. We can take those particular questions maybe at the end of the session for about 10-15 minutes. Yeah, hope that would be okay. Yeah. So just to as I said, we are into different other business line also, which I just mentioned. Now, without any further ado, let me just share my screen and take you to the right platform. So today we'll be talking about DNB, Hoovers, which is a platform where you can find the international buyers for your business, for your products that you're dealing into, right? So let me just quickly share my screen with you and take you through that particular platform and show you how things are there. But as I said, apart from this, we are into credit evaluation, we are into vendor evaluation, we are into DUNS verification. We are into a lot of other scoring also for different clients. So these are different business line that we have, right? So let me just start with Hoovers, and then probably I'll move on to the other sections also briefly to let you know what all is being covered and how other services can be beneficial for you. I hope everyone can see my desktop. You can just give me a thumbs up or hands up, right?
Yeah, we can see that. We can see that.
Sure. So this is the platform wherein you can find out the buyers for yourself for different location altogether. So in case you're looking for the buyers in US, UK, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and any other location, right? You can find those kind of details in that regard, right? So let me just quickly take you through those particular things which is available with us and show you how things are there. So that it will give you the understanding about how you can find out different companies or different buyers on our platform. So this is going to be desktop once you log into our portal, right? And this is the desktop wherein you can pin down different things as per your requirement. So let's say, example, if you're working on certain searches, maybe the government exporters that you're looking at, or government importers that you're looking at in US, UK, or maybe you're looking for paper product importers, or maybe anything else also, right? So you can find and you can put those particular things over here so that whenever you start working again on this particular platform, you can start from wherever you left over in that period of time, right? Today we'll be taking one of the example. Maybe we'll start with the clothing and apparel, as an industry, because I won't be able to take all the industry in this particular session. That is the paper product, or if in case you're dealing with some other product also. But I'll give you a gist of it, like whichever industry that you're dealing into, right? How you can find out the specific buyers in those industries, right? But we'll be just taking one example to explain you how things are there and what all is available on our platform, right? So this is the desktop. We'll be starting with searchability list. So we'll be first of all finding out the companies for you, right? So when you open this and when you click on this particular part, right? So basically, you get into this particular filtration, field, wherein you have to first of all put down the location filter, as in maybe if in case you're looking for United States or you're looking for any other country also, you can put down the location filter over here. And you can also bifurcate the country into city, state, postal code, area code, zip code, anything that you wanted. In case you don't want to put down, different probably countries over there, you can simply go ahead and select from the list of region that we have. I can see Deepak Vora has raised the hand. Yes, sir. Please tell me. You can unmute yourself. Sir, we can't hear you. I think you are on mute.
I think what you do is please carry on with the presentation. Sure. And after that, we have a Q&A round, as many questions as everyone has. I think Nikhil and Manpreet are going to answer. So please carry on.
Absolutely. And even, we will drop you an email also, right? Maybe your Sandeep can, share it with you guys. You can even, wrote us an email also, wherein probably we can answer all your queries, whatever queries you have, and we can, help you in that way as well after the session as well, right? So I was on the location filter, wherein you can just go ahead and select, different regions if you wanted. If you don't want to put, different country names over there, or you can even bifurcate the location into city, state, or postal code wise that you wanted. So right now we have about 43.6 million companies in US. This is the live data that is coming on screen. And if I talk about, globally, we have more than 256 million companies available globally across all industry, all sectors, right? Now, after selecting the location filter, the second filter that you get is the sizing filter. So which size of company or what size of company you wanted to target? Like, are you looking for small, medium to large entrepreneur? So you can put down the criteria in terms of employee size, in terms of revenue size, right? And it will display you the companies basis on those particular criteria. So maybe if your product is relevant only for those companies which is of SME sector, maybe we have less than 50 employees, you can put down the company which are having less than 50 employees, and it will populate you only those companies that are there in US which are having less than 50 employees. In case your product suits to mid-sized companies, you can target those particular companies. In case it suits to large entrepreneurs, you can put down that particular criteria. So again, you can put down different criteria in terms of employee size, in terms of sales of the company. Then you can select from the list of industries. So over here, you have to put some focus on over here. It's a very important feature for you to select the right buyers for yourself. So there are 3 or 4 ways through which one can select different industries on a portal. So one is DNB Hoover's industry, which is basically classified at a broader level. So when we say broader level, when you browse this industry, right, you will get the industry in this particular format, like aerospace, agriculture, automotive. And again in automotive also, you will get different other sub-industries also, right? So as per your requirement, you can pick and choose, which all industry is relevant for you, for your product, and you can, get through those particular things. Otherwise, once you, come to us, right, once we discuss one-on-one, or maybe, once we have the discussion in place in terms of, which specific industry that you're dealing into, we can also guide you through, which are the industry that you should go for. So let's say, an example, I could see, I think Gurmeen is basically exporting women garments, right? So let me take an example for clothing and apparel industry and how she can get a very specific to the, women garments, bias, right? So if in case you're looking for something on the DNB Hoover's industry, which are basically on the broader level, you can just type, clothing and apparel wholesale over here. So it will give you clothing and apparel stores, clothing and apparel wholesale. So these are those companies which are dealing into these particular, industry. But this will not give you the segregation in terms of whether they're dealing with boys' clothes or children clothes or maybe women dresses or not, right? So if you're looking for very specific thing, then what we suggest you is you can just go to the NASCS or SIC code. These are NASCS and SIC code. If you're looking for very niche segment, and over here, you can just type the specific thing that you wanted. So let's say, an example, if I just go with the women dresses and all, right? So it will give me those kind of, industry which is related to this particular part. Just a minute. Yeah, so if you see, we're getting, women dresses outwear, right? And these are the things which are available. So there are different things that are available with us as per your requirement. Again, that is covered under, the hats and other things also in place. Then we also have women footwear, women handbags, women and children clothing. So if you're looking for very specific as in women and children clothing, you will get these kind of things in place. We also have other like specific stores which are dealing only into women, clothing and all, right? So you can go for, those kind of, bifurcations as well, which will also include women shoes, women boots, and other things as well, right? So these are some of the things through which you can select the, criteria as per your requirement. So let's say, an example, if someone is dealing with spices, and they wanted to, they are looking for importer of, maybe turmeric or maybe any red chili or maybe anything else, right? They can actually find the companies, by those particular, keywords also. So what you need to do is you need to come to this particular SIC code over here, right? And then probably, you just need to select, put down the criteria name over here, maybe whatever product that you deal into, right? And you will get those particular companies in place. So let's an example, if someone is dealing into paper product, right? Just type, paper over here. So it will give you all the relevant, industries which are related to paper. So if someone is using into, carpets and rugs, they can even get, carpets and rug wholesalers and retailers. If someone is, dealing into some other product, they can get to those particular things. So these are few of the ways through which you'll be getting an access to the buyers, and we'll be giving you proper training. Once you guys do onboarded with us, there will be proper training session which has been designed for you for complete week, and then after 15 days or maybe 20 days down the line. So we'll help you with the specific things that you're looking at, and how you can be comfortable with this particular product. So till the time you're not comfortable on this particular product, you can come back to us for a regular interval, and we can help you with these particular trainings and help you to get relevant buyers for you. Right now, let me just take I've just taken an example for women clothing and all. So we are getting about 1.4 million companies in US which are dealing with these particular things, which are dealing with robes and dressing gowns, which are dealing with women and children clothing, which are dealing with women and business outwear, and those kind of categories, right? So we are getting a good amount of number, which is about 1.4 million companies only in US. If I exclude US, and if I just look around the other location also, this number will
Can you Amarpreet, can you go to a specific city and find out the number for this? For example, we can try maybe like New York or San Francisco. Yeah,
absolutely. So you can just bifurcate the thing, as I said, by city or maybe state or postal code that you wanted, and accordingly you can select those particular things. So I can just exclude United States, and I can just go to the New York.
So that's got around 20,000, but yeah,
19,000 companies that we are getting about right now into women category. And then there is other criteria that you can fill up. So there are other filters that we have on this particular platform. Not all the filters will be relevant for you. So as per your requirement, you can pick and choose which all relevant filters are there. You can also select the entity type. If you're in case you're looking for branch independent parent company, if you're looking for public private non-private company, if you're looking for some other details also, like which are the company which just started their operation 2 years 3 years down the line, which are Fortune 1000 global company. And this will also give you the status of import export also. So if in case you wanted to know a specific thing, like which are the people which are involved into both import and export, or only with import, right? So you can get those particular companies also. So there are specific 1,500 companies which are tagged under import and export category. There could be more companies also. It just like might be from that list of 19,000 companies that we were getting, right? Those tags are missing, because whatever details that we can collect for different companies, we have tagged those particular information on this particular platform. But there is a scenario that we won't be having the information available for every company in every respect. So whatever details are there will be available to you in that regards. And then when we click on view results, it will actually populate you the list of companies that are there. Yeah. So let's say, example, if you talk about, if I just open this company, which is Michael Kors, right? So let me just show you, how this company look like and what all information is there. So when you open any particular company on my platform, you'll be landed up with this homepage for a particular company, where you get the company name, the address, the contact number, the website address, the employee size, what type of company this is, which industry they're into, the basic financials of the company. So on the major category, they are into clothing and apparel wholesale. But if you look around, a specific thing, like as in the SIC code, they're into women and children clothing, which is basically MK, which is a US-based brand, right? So you will get all these basic details available for every company, irrespective of any geography, any industry, any sector that you're looking at. Then this will also give you the description about the company, what exactly the deals into, right? So as we all know about MK, right? But there are going to be other companies also, which is of a smaller size or mid-size size, right? Even for those companies also, you'll be having these kind of details available. Then we'll also help you to understand whether this company is a low-risky company to work with or high-risky company to work with. Let's say an example. You're getting into a contract with a company which is based out of US, and you wanted to export something, and they are asking for credit, right? Maybe not the complete credit, or maybe 50-50 or 70-30 or whatever it would be the ratio, right? And you are not ready to give a credit, right? So at least you can have a look at this particular, scoring, which is available for different companies, whether this is a low risky company to work with or high risky company to work with. So if this is red and it shows you high risky, that means the company might have defaulted earlier on some of the loans. Their debts are more, as compared to other funding which is there, or their liabilities are more as compared to assets. There are certain litigations that are happening around on the company side, or maybe on the promoter side, right? So you will get those kind of indication. So accordingly, you can make your terms and condition with those particular people and see which is relevant for them and how things are there. This will also help you to understand how the growth trajectory look like, whether they are growing, stable, or shrinking company, and this all data is available to you. So this is on the company level. Now, when you contacted a particular company, who are going to be the right contacts for you in those companies? Those are going to be the purchase people who are dealing into purchase of all the items, or sourcing of all the items. So you can just click on the site contacts. So we have about 3,266 contacts available for Michael Kors for this particular location. And we have about 6,000 contacts available across all their subsidiaries or branches. So they have about 679 more subsidiaries or branches available. And their parent company is Capri Holdings Limited, right? So under this umbrella, under their umbrella, they have about 679 more subsidiaries or branches, which are located in different other parts of the world and dealing into different other industries. Now, when you click on the contact details, you will get the concerned person name, designation, address, email ID, contact number, website address, and you can also sort them by designations also, right? Because you might not be targeting the CEO of the company in larger enterprises or maybe mid-sized enterprises, right? You wanted to reach out to the purchase or sourcing people over there, right? So you can simply go ahead and select the purchase executive from the job function, list of job function that we have, so that you can just select, purchase executive over here. And then you can select the level of the people also, like which level you wanted to reach out. Are you looking for C-level guys? Are you looking for, director kind of profile? Are you looking for vice president kind of profile or senior vice president kind of profile? Or are you looking for manager kind of profile? So as per your requirement, you can pick and choose those particular designations, and then you can just simply click on view results. So it will give you the concerned person name, designation, address, contact number, the email ID, and their website address, so that you can reach out to them as per your requirement. So in most of the cases, we even have the direct dials also. So you can even reach out to them on phone as well.
Aman, is it their personal social media handles like the LinkedIn and all that?
Yes. So this will take you to the LinkedIn profile. Sometimes it will take you to the search profile also, because there might be some people with the same name, like James, Townsend. So you just need to select and see the people from the LinkedIn profile. But these are the LinkedIn and the social media handle for these particular people. Yeah. And if any case, you're not getting any designation on the job function side, right? You can simply go ahead and apply, put the specific designation over here that you're looking at, maybe sourcing. And you can just deselect, purchase executive over here. And then you can even deselect these level also, right? So you will get those particular people who are working as in sourcing in this company. So these are the right people. Now it becomes very difficult for us sitting down in India, finding out the people in US, UK, or other part of the world. But this tool will actually help you out to, shorten down that particular duration for you and the time frame. Second thing, whatever details that you're getting on our platform, this is all authentic data, because these all companies are DUNS verified. Again, DUNS number is our proprietary, which we do for every company. So that gives you the confidence, like, whatever companies we have, these are all actively running business in the market. So you won't be able to find out any single company on my platform which is out of the business, which is there with us on a platform. So whatever companies we have, these are all actively running business in the market, right? And when it comes to the accuracy on the contact level, we even have an email ID which are basically at an accuracy level of about 90 to 99%. So you can even select that particular accuracy level also to get the higher accuracy data that you're looking at for your services in place. Yeah. Then post this, we'll also give you the company summary. As I told you, like there is a description about the company. Then we'll give you the company description from different standpoint of view. That is from operation side, from geographical reach, from sales and marketing side. We'll help you with the production operation. So how their production operation been segregated in a market. We'll also help you with the contact decision metrics. Which all is available as in from the senior level perspective. Like who are the C-level guys, who are the board of directors, who are people who are working on a different functional area. So these are the people who are working in a different functional area. So in case you wanted to reach out to someone into purchase or maybe human resource or maybe any other department, right? You can see the hierarchy. Who are the topmost people in a company to whom you can reach out, then one level down to those particular top people, and you can find these kind of people in place. We'll also help you with the corporate family tree, as I mentioned. So corporate family tree is a kind of linkages between parent-child linkages. So under, as I said, Capri Holding, how many more subsidiaries or branches are there, where exactly they're located, which industry they are into, who are the key people in those organizations to whom they can, to whom you can reach out. And again, these all companies are hyperlinked. You can get the information about these companies in a similar way, like you're getting from Michael Kors, for the parent company. We'll also cover news articles also for your client. If anything is covered for your client, globally, you can find all the latest news over here. And you can set up these kind of alerts also on your, email account by selecting the relevant topics for yourself. So in case you would be interested in, selecting any topic specific to them, like if they are opening up of a new facility or they are opening up of a new store, so you can get to know about those particular things. You can actually select from the list of topics that we have, right? And you can set these kind of alerts so that it will deliver to your email account directly. Then we also have triggers also. Again, triggers are drawn from news only, but on a specific topic. And that is only for Michael Kors, which is there. Then we have a competitors list, who are the immediate competitors to a particular company, these things are located. And those things are there.
Can we mute everyone, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. So we also have other packages also, like, we have a technology filter, we have financial filter, but those filters are not relevant for you at this point of time. Because as far as your requirement is concerned, from the export point of view, we are all looking for new buyers for our product. If we are dealing with handicraft, we have a provision of exporting those particular handicraft to home and garden retail or home and garden stores in US, UK, and other part of the world. If we are dealing into any food item, which could be into grocery or spices, then we can export those particular things to the grocery stores or grocery wholesales in US. Because likewise in India, in US we don't have small kirana shops or those kind of distributors over here. So usually what happens is, when we look around the companies like Morrison, or maybe we look around the companies like Costco, they do all the purchasing and the sourcing on their own, because they have a lot of stores under their umbrella, right? So they wanted to have a direct relationship with the vendor, who can supply to them on a regular basis, right? So that is how you can connect with them, basis on your requirement. So likewise, as I said, on the industry segment, you can find out, what are the specific industries that you wanted to deal with or that you are already dealing in. And accordingly, you can put down that particular, product name, and it will give you, those particular, companies that are dealing into that particular category. So as I mentioned, once you be onboarded, there will be complete thorough training session available to all of you, right? We'll be taking you through this particular platform again and again. Whatever industries that you're dealing into will help you out to identify which are the specific buyers to whom you can approach, how you can find out the contact details about the right people in those organizations, what particular things they're doing right now in terms of the company profile and other things. So we'll help you with those particular things in life. So at this point of time, the basic details, the basic package will cover everything for you as per your requirement, and you will have all the basic details available. You will have all the contact details available for a different company. So as of now, this is what we have available with us. Gagan, Sandeep, we can open. We are open.
Aman, I just want to ask you one more thing. Like, this is like a very big company we have seen.
Sure.
Can we also see any company which are like smaller size, so that we can see, like,
Absolutely. So maybe what you can do is, you can just put down the criteria as in 10 employees, less than 10 employees.
Yeah. Just see that, and then see, like,
There are 998 companies which are having less than 10
just see
employees.
some examples here.
Yeah. So again, these are some of the branches that are coming. So maybe let's say example, if we just choose, the other filter, which is called independent and parent.
Yeah.
So we will get only those companies which are just having one particular branch or one particular, entity available. That is the parent and independent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So if you just open this company, let me just open this company for you.
Yeah.
So you will have the similar sort of details available, but I hope you can understand, like, these companies won't be having too many contacts available. So whatever.
Can you just see the 4 contacts? Like, which are the 4 contacts?
Absolutely. We also have 9 into other, segments also. But I'll just show you, which all other contacts are there.
Okay, Jian Ching, Nathalie. Okay, cool.
Personal shop. And there is one more thing. Let's say example, we might not be having the email IDs for every executive, right? But we can see the pattern of one particular executive in a company, and we can create the email ID on our own also, because that is what our customers do, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a provision to do that because whatever email IDs we have, these are all opt-in email IDs. So we really can't publish on our own, right? So we have taken the consent, and that's why we have this, opt-out data which is available with us. But when you be onboarded with us, you can create your own email ID also as per your requirement by just looking at the pattern.
Cool. Thank you. Can you just share so that we can have some questions from people?
Absolutely. Just a minute, sir.
Okay, please raise your hands, guys, and we will, ask. So please, Ankit, go ahead. Ankit, please unmute yourself and let's.
Ankit, you're on mute. Can you just unmute?
Now you will be able to unmute. I had logged it, but now you can.
Okay. Go
Okay, I
ahead.
was
Go
not
ahead.
able to unmute. Yeah, so firstly, the company that you showed right now, which had 4 employees, so all the employees had the same phone number. So I think that's the customer care phone number. How was it? What was it?
Those are the bolder number which is available, but in most of the cases, you can even select, direct dials also, right? So when we filter down the contacts by email ID, like I did, on the first case, right? Similar way, there is an option called direct dials also. So when you select the direct dials, you will have those particular contacts wherein we have the mobile numbers or direct dials available. Now, those direct dials could be the direct extension number of also of the people to whom you can reach out to them, directly. And whatever email IDs we have, these are all official email ID of the concerned person. So you won't be getting any Gmail, Yahoo, or personal email ID. So these are all official email ID of the concerned person, which are basically meant for business.
Okay, and secondly, so like you said that the contact info of all the top management people in that particular company that can be made available. So won't this translate to spamming all those email IDs? The follow-up question is that, like, we have do not disturb concept in India that we don't want to receive marketing calls. So can't they also sign up for do not disturb kind of thing, and then we won't be able to send mail emails to them? So
yeah. So we have that particular consent available on this particular platform. So there is an option called opt-in or opt-out, right? So if any company has opt-out of direct marketing or opt-in for direct marketing, right? So you can do only to those particular company which has opt-in. So we have those kind of details. So once you download this data into an Excel sheet, right, you will get that particular tagging also which is available. So how many of them have the opt-in out or opted out of direct marketing, and to whom you won't be able to reach out over there. But that tagging is already available on this particular tool.
So what's the percentage? How many people opt out of these things? If people have opted out, then we won't be able to contact them, right?
Yeah, very few, because we are dealing with a lot of exporters right now. We're dealing with a lot of ITS companies, research companies who are using this particular tool for reaching out to different clients on a regular basis, right? So the percentage would be very minuscule. So even if you're downloading maybe about 1,000 contacts in your Excel sheet, maybe 4 or 5 people have opted out of direct marketing. Right. Otherwise, you will get the tagging not opted out of direct marketing. I hope this answers your question, Ankit.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking, what's the incentive of people to opt in? Obviously, they would want to opt out only. Now, why would they want to receive spam marketing emails?
So basically, when we look around these particular contacts and when we gather this particular data, because again, Hoovers is our old product which started in 1994. So we have been in the market, since then. So when we collect the data through primary, secondary research, we put these particular filters in place. So even if you reach out on our website, it mentioned like, can we use your details for marketing purpose? So when you say yes, we can use those particular information, right? So there is a consent given by client only to use those particular information for different marketing purpose. But to your question, that tagging is available. So you can see to it, to whom you have to reach out to, you don't have to reach out. That is available.
Thank you, Ankit. Nitin, please go ahead.
Yeah, so you showed one tool of deciding risk factor.
Yeah.
So you showed what are the factors in deciding that risk factor? Because I'm not sure how we'll be able to know whether that is a good paymaster or not.
Yeah. So basically, on Hoovers for that particular section, we just covered one section, which is a scoring part, whether it's a low risky or a high risk.
Yeah.
But usually we have a product which is called DNB credit, or we even give report on companies also independently. Over there, you will get the complete history of the client, whether that company is, what is the credit worthiness of that particular client, how much credit you can extend. And if you're extending more than that particular credit, then it will be risky, right? We will also help you to understand, are they getting into a stage of, bankruptcy in next few years or not, how their assets and liabilities are located in the market, have they defaulted on certain payments in the past, Is there any litigation that are happening around on the company side? So that's a different service, different product altogether. What we recommend to our client is, let's say example, when they are dealing with small companies and there is a small order, right? You can obviously take a chances and do combination and do the business with them on a smaller scale, right? But yes, when you're getting a bigger order in one go, right? At that point of time, you wanted to make sure that whether you're delivering the goods again on credit, whether you should do it or not, right? In that case, you can even go for independent company reports also. That will have a different costing altogether. We can discuss about that particular costing also, but we'll give you the complete credit worthiness of that particular company. So whether you should be extending the credit to them, or do you really wanted to deal with all in advance, or maybe basis on CC, or maybe on LC?
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Manpreet, is it that we can get this credit report for a single buyer also, and also there are some packages available?
So we have an online platform that will cost you more, because in that case, we'll give you the yearly subscription for DNB credit, right? So in case, though companies, wherein they have the companies wherein they want to see about 1,000 companies or 100 companies in a month or in a year, those companies take the subscription. But for those companies which are taking about 10 to 15 clients, they can go for individual reports at different interval point of time, just to check, we are starting a business with this company, right? This company is genuine and they have the credit worthiness. So if you are doing and extending the credit to them, we are safe and we can extend this much of credit.
So also DNB credit is something kind of a prepaid services.
Yeah.
All right. So subscription, there's a particular price segment in terms of the region as well. So there will be an APAC, US, Indian market, and different regions worldwide. And if you just hypothetically speaking, if you want credit reports on US market, so there is a different price segment on that. Now you have taken a subscription and you have recharged your account for a particular sum of amount. Until and unless that sum of amount is not utilized, you can pull out the reports as per the subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Sandeep, just one thing, since we have a next session as well, should we take rest of the questions a little later? Or you think we can
do that? We can do that actually. People might leave. So
Yeah.
I think Vivek, Dhruv, Ajay, Deepak, I think Nikhil and Manpreet are here. So we'll just take the next sessions, and then of course we'll have a longer question answer round. Just in case some people want to leave, I mean, they can have the liberty of, but otherwise you guys can stay and ask questions. And okay, first of all, I think thank you so much, Nikhil and Manpreet, great presentation. And of course, I have gone through it already with you, so I know a little bit. I'm sure it'll be helpful to a lot of our people. There are a lot of questions about pricing and all that stuff, which will definitely come to you very, very soon. So, okay.
Go ahead, Sandeep.
Okay. So I think we've been talking about the winning mantra growing into various places, and a lot of cities are now asking us to come and do the sessions there. So we are going to share the model which we'll be discussing, and then we'll share something with you where you can fill in your interest, and then we will take the discussion further. So without further delay, I'd like to go ahead and talk about this opportunity for everyone. It's going to be a very small presentation, so we'll not take more. So as you all know that in Winning Mantra, we are focused on export growth. That's what me and Gagan have been doing for the last 2.5 years, and we have touched a lot of people during this duration. So yeah, we both are United Nations consultant, registered consultant for exports. We're already working with a couple of countries. Like not only we help people in India in terms of export growth, we're also helping. We just did a project in Jordan, and the next one is coming in Morocco, where we trained 20 companies, did consulting with them, and started their export, created their roadmap, and then they are on their own. So our vision is absolutely clear that we want to change the way India sells overseas. We are impacting a lot of people, and that is what our contribution to the industry is. And the mission is very clear that we want to impact 100,000 entrepreneurs by 1st October 2025. That is a clear mission for both of us and Winning Mantra. Our solutions are very clear. We are in training and consulting till date, And of course, there are new exciting news coming up. And what we do knowledge sessions, we do trainings, we do consulting and handholding for individuals. And yes, we started something called group consulting, and now we have 5 groups where we are doing group consulting. So knowledge session is something we do across business platforms and MSMEX and SOTEX, and also a lot of business organization, where we give a roadmap of how you can start, build, and grow your export business. Training, of course, most of you have attended the trainings. We have a 6 weeks online training, which we've been doing, and happy to share that we're just finishing our 20th batch, and I'll share that more further. And yes, handholding, we've touched around 15 different industries. So individual handholding and also group handholding. And we have found 100% success rate in that. That is something which is really, we are proud of. Some numbers, of course, 20,400 people touched in the last 2.5 years with our knowledge sessions and impacting them. Almost 24.5 million worth of export generated by our students and people we are consulting. 624 plus people are now trained with our latest batch. And yes, 44 plus companies are being consulted. And of course, there are a lot of group consulting assignments we are now on. Basically, till date, we'll be doing training and consulting. And happy to announce the next batch, which is starting from 10th of September. That's the online batch, which is again the same what most of you have done. So anybody, anyone in your network would love to start export business and want to grow it, please do refer them to us. And now is the exciting news. The exciting news is that by popular demand, we are now getting offline. So first offline training is happening in Delhi. That's the first start. It is on 24th and 25th September. It's a full two-day training on Saturday and Sunday. It starts at 9 o'clock and goes up to 6:30. A lot of work, but a lot of practical work done inside. It'll be at Aloft Aero City. And in this, all the people who are in Delhi NCR, the second day is actually the advanced part of the training. So if you're interested, because there are a lot of development which has happened across the years. So if you are interested in doing just the second day where we have the advanced training, you can get in touch with us as well. So this is about what we are doing in terms of trainings. And of course, export, there's a lot of people and a lot of consultants across who are part of a network been asking for us to start some kind of export together as a company. Of course, I'm still exporting books and still selling pretty well across the world. But then there are certain key segments which we are working on, and where we will also be starting exports along with you. I mean, those of you who are part of that industry, we will be in touch with you, and then we'll do something together to grow that particular export of product. So what we are looking at, as something we talked about, is city-wise business partner, and how it's going to work. Very simple. What we expect from you is that we help you you have to help us to spread online training. So I mean, you can work in your city and find out more people who want to attend online trainings for us. Help us organize offline training in your city. Suppose you're in Ahmedabad, in Surat, in Jaipur, in Udaipur, or wherever you are. Help us organize offline training. We'll fix up a date and you will work with us to get more and more people to attend those trainings. Add more people to our group and hand-holding programs. And finally, focus exports across selected industry. That's something we're going to talk to you on one-to-one basis once we kind of finalize you as a partner in that city. Now, what you can expect from us is a good profit share in all our transactions, whether it's training, consulting, or exports, of course. Mutual growth in export business of selected industries, complete support from Team Winning Mantra from our head office, and of course, regular meeting with the core team, majorly me and Gagan, to kind of brainstorm and plan how we can grow the business together. Let's work together and of course, work for a brighter future. We would love to have people who are interested. There are a lot of you who have shown interest in this. Just want to talk about a little bit more before we ask for an EOI form. So I request Gagan to please share that in the chat box and also in WhatsApp group, Gagan, and kindly fill it up. It's a very simple form, and we will get the forms and then we'll connect with you personally, or maybe a group meeting like this again. where we'll discuss in more detail that how we can work together and make the most out of it. So we want to create, especially in the cities where export is very hot and the industry is really growing. We're definitely looking at adding people there, and who better than the people who are part of this community to be our partners. So looking forward to have mutual growth and of course grow with you and learn from each other's experience. Thank you very much for your time and listening to me so patiently as you always did. Thank you so much once again. And Gagan, would you like to add something?
What I would like to say is that it is the whole seed of this particular thought came up from the participants or all our trainees who reached out to us. They've been facing certain challenges around the way they want to take forward their export journey. And that's when we said that, okay, let us help them in a slightly more better way. And hence this idea came up. And I have sent the form on the group itself, on the chat itself, so you can click it. This expression of interest form is just the expression of interest. It does not mean that you are going to be our partner. We will, of course, have a discussion with you. And there are certain criteria which we are looking at definitely. And definitely we'll then have a better evaluation around that. Okay. Yeah. Over to you, Sandeep. Let's now introduce our.
Thank you so much, Gagan. And of course, looking forward, guys. Looking forward to work with all of you, and let's create a team which is already part of the community and add more value to a lot of people. Now, I'd like to invite the team from Drip Capital. Can you just unmute yourself and introduce, please, so that we can start the next presentation. And after that, we'll have a Q&A round for both the teams together.
Right.
So welcome, Dushyant.
Yes. Welcome, Dushyant. Dushyant is from Drip Capital, and he's going to be our speaker for today. Thank you so much, Dushyant, for coming in today and helping us add more value to all the exporters. And I'm sure your session, people have been looking forward to your session, and I'm sure it is going to be very fruitful. So over to you, Dushyant. You can share your screen. I'm going to spotlight you, and we can take things forward from there.
Right. So thank you for the introduction, Mr. Gagan. So what I'll do is I'll just take everyone through the presentation that we have.
Yeah.
Right? I'll try keeping it short and sweet. And any questions then can be taken after we've done with the presentation. I think I still can't share my screen right now.
Okay, just a second. Let me just give you the option. Hang on, please. I'm gonna.
No problem.
All right. I think you should be able to do that now.
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
It
Can
is.
everybody see my screen?
Yes, it is now. Yes.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll just take everybody through the presentation. Right. Before we start, a big thank you to DNB. Right. There's lots of time when even we require the tons number of importers in other countries. Right. So they've been of great help to Drip Capital as well. Right. So to begin with, I'll just introduce my company. So Drip Capital is a US-based fintech. Right. We have our head office in Mumbai. I'm stationed in Delhi, and our headquarters is in California. Right. So we are a Series C funded startup. We've raised about $400 million from prime investors like Axel, Sequoia, Y Combinator. Right. In India, we have collaborated with CEO, EPC, other export promotion councils. We've disbursed more than $2.7 billion worldwide. Right. And in India, we've worked with more than 1,500 plus exporters in 60 plus cities, and with 60 plus countries where there are buyers. Right. So what I'll do is I'll just take you through the product that we have. So currently Drip Capital has one product, which is called factoring, or you may know it as bill discounting, right? So essentially what we do is that almost 80% of exporters work on a credit period, as mentioned by Gagan sir earlier, right? And how that works is that once you've made a shipment, your goods will reach the destination. And after that, you extend, say, another 30 days or 40 days as a credit period. So what we do is we've come up with a simple solution. In order to liquidate, or in order to give you more liquidity, on day 0, this is a post-shipment solution. So on day 0, basically when you get your BL or your bill of lading, we give you 80% of your invoice value as an advance. So it's simple. You just give us your invoice, you give us your BL, and we give you 80% in your Nostro account. Now, fast forward to day 60 or day 90, whenever your credit period is over, your buyer then makes the payment to Drip Capital, right? As soon as the payment hits our account, we give the remaining 20% to you minus our charges. So essentially what we're doing is we're liquidating your transactions, right? In case you need more liquidity to prepare more orders or to maybe, service your pre-shipment that you've taken on the order. So that is up to your discretion. What we're doing is we're providing you liquidity so that you're able to take more orders. You can work with new buyers, or you can also work in high risk countries, right? So this is essentially the cycle that I was talking about. Day 0 is when we give you 80% of the payment. Day 60 is when the buyer makes the payment to Drip Capital. Immediately the same day, we are able to give the remaining 20% minus our charges. So when we talk about the charges, which will be an important question, we are able to give the shipment at 0.9% per month, right? And what all does that include? So that will include all our charges, inclusive of an insurance cost that covers your payment from your buyer, right? So basically our USPs, if I talk about our USPs, the first and foremost, it is our collateral free working capital, right? So we do not take any hard collaterals for this, right? We can extend a credit limit of up to $2.5 million, which is roughly 20 crores. Pricing I've mentioned is 0.9% per month, right? This is a completely digital journey. So you don't need to send us any physical documents for your onboarding. Everything is done over email. So this is our process, right? So it's simple. Depending on the workflow that you've taken, you just need to fill out your eligibility form where we basically take your IC. Based on your IC, we are able to extend a credit limit to you. If you're eligible, and I'll get over what makes you eligible. If you're eligible, we are able to tell you that, this amount is the amount that we can sanction, or this is the limit that you can have. Once you're okay with the offer, we give you an offer with all the pricing details mentioned. Once you're okay with the offer, we then move on to signing the legal documents. That is all done on the portal. Once that is done, then we're able to discount your bills or factor your bills. So this usually takes up to 15 days, right? Depending on your buyer and the strength of your buyer and how easily we can identify your buyer. So I'll take you through what makes Drip Capital different from other banks, right? So firstly, we are offering, say, $2.5 million, which is 20 crores. This will be an advance. We give 80% of your invoice value upfront. So for example, if you have a $100,000 invoice, we give you $80,000 upfront, right? And this will be in dollars. So this is not INR funding. We'll give it to you in either dollars or pounds or euros, right? The interest rates, the charges that we've done are broken down into three components. The first one that you see is from 5.5% to 7% per annum. This is the interest rate. The other is the factoring commission that we charge, which is 0.35 to 4% per month. The maximum tenor that we give is 120 days from your day of shipment. That means if today you have your BL in hand, we're able to extend the credit period of 120 days to you. So we also have a platform for you where you can basically go through all the invoices that you've given us. You can track your shipment if your buyer has an ERP system onboarded onto that. So this is what the platform looks like. So this is the exporter dashboard, and this is the invoice tracking. So if you've given us an invoice, you can check in real time the status of the invoice, whether it's in transit, whether it has reached the port in whatever country there is. So talking about the impact that Drip has had over the past 5 years that we've been working in the Indian market, right? We've been working with, as I mentioned, more than 1,500 exporters. And we had conducted a survey where we realized that, exporters have grown exponentially working with Drip Capital. We've grown at a rate of 25%. And that is only because the exporters that we work with have grown over a rate of 31%. And this is not a cherry picked. I haven't taken just like maybe 5 or 50 exporters. We've accumulated the data of all the 1,500 exporters that we've worked with and then come up with this number. This is basically a little of Drip Capital in the news, right? How we've been picking up, what we've been doing over the past 5 years. These are the industries that we work with. So I could see that, there are a few garment industry people in the webinar. There are also somebody who was manufacturing paper, right? So these are great industries. Few industries that we work with extensively are again garments, right? We've got into fabrics. Agro commodities is a hot hit with us, right? We can also do frozen foods. Few industries that we cannot work with. So those industries would be your perishables. So we don't do fruits and vegetables or anything that has a shelf life of less than 6 months, right? We do not cater to minerals and your granite, marble, tiles, and such. And lastly, we do not cater to gems, jewelry, and gemstones. So except these three industries, we're able to cover a host of industries, which include pharma, your leather goods, ready-made garments, yarn, cotton, textiles, rice, anything like that. Right. So this is I'll leave my coordinates here just to touch upon more on the eligibility. Right. So unfortunately, we do not cater to new exporters. Right. We require not vintage, but we require a certain amount of export turnover. So when we talk about export turnover in the last 12 months, you must have done at least $200,000 of export turnover. So we'll roughly translate to 1.6 CR, right? The negative industries that I've already mentioned, we don't cover. And finally, what we can cover is that you should have 2 BRCs closed. If you meet these 3 criteria, we are able to extend credit limit to you. And again, as I mentioned, the process is simple. You can just share your IC. Either you can send across on WhatsApp or to me, or to reach out to our platform, which is ripcapital.com, and mention an IC there. Once you give us your IC, we are able to track your data from the customs data that we have. If you're eligible, again, we can send you an offer letter. And based on that, we can take the conversation forward. So I think we can then now take the question answers. I hope that was short and crisp.
Thank you, Dushyant. But I think it was very clear. Just wanted to check up, like in terms of taking up the buyer, a couple of questions which comes to my mind.
Yes, sir.
That before actually accepting a document, do you check the credibility of the buyer?
Right. So what we do is I'll take you through the underwriting process. So once you're okay with the offer that we have, right, we take we check the exporter and the buyer. Right. Now, how we check the buyer is basically we've integrated with insurance companies. We give the details of the buyer to the insurance company, and they give us a insurance and the buyer rating. Right. So if the buyer is great, we get an insurance on that, and we're able to cover it on non-recourse. Non-recourse will basically mean that if the buyer fails to pay you because of financial reasons, the insurance covers that. So that is done on the insurance end, and we then underwrite the buyer as the seller, the exporter.
Okay. So what I also want to ask is, like, in that case, that means you check the credibility of buyer yourself, and you also give an insurance. You take an insurance on their behalf.
We check the credibility of the seller ourselves, and the buyer, which will be the importer, through third parties.
And these third parties are like Indian companies or the companies outside?
No, the third parties that we work with are US insurance companies. They are called Euler Holmes and Atreides. Okay, that's what I was looking for, because in India, I think majorly people were working with ECGC and have very mixed, okay, so guys, now we have both the teams on spotlight. Any questions you want to ask Dun and Bradstreet team? Dushyant's data, Dushyant, kindly share your details on chat, and also I'll request Nikhil and Amanpreet to share your details on chat in case someone wants to talk to you guys later. Also, I'll be sharing the details on WhatsApp in the group, so you guys can take care. And now we are open to questions one by one. So we'll start with Siddharth wants 3 criteria on chat. Okay, let's start with Deepak. Deepak, how are you doing? Please unmute yourself and you can start your questions. And do tell us that.
Thank you, I'm doing fine, Mr. Deep. My question is simple, that the Dun and Bradstreet, basically we find out about the buyer and the buyer finds out about us to establish credibility for both of us. Now the local or the CIBIL, for example, ratings, if they are good, then do you need Dun and Bradstreet? CIBIL is now used by banks across the board.
I think the question, if I understand rightly, Deepak, please correct me if I'm right. What he says is that in terms of like the DUNS number, he's asking that in case you have a good CIBIL rating, do you still need a DUNS number?
Absolutely, yes, because DUNS number doesn't just basis on the CIBIL number. So it also consists of a lot of other things also in place. So maybe you have a CIBIL score, but you might not be having good assets in place, right? And there would be more liabilities that you are owning right now, right? So we need to see across how things are there, and it's just not the CIBIL number. There are other things also. And just to add to this, as Dushan mentioned, right, they already use DNB. So a lot of exporters and even the SME financing company uses us to get the report. Even right now, like Dushan is getting those reports from insurance company. But for sellers, they are using the third party, right? They can get those kind of details from us, wherein we can give the complete report on a particular seller also, to everyone, and help you to understand what is the current position of that particular client, so that whether you can proceed further with the dealing with that particular company or not. So to answer your question, Deepak, it doesn't just include a CIBIL score. It is more than CIBIL score which we have with us.
Point taken, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to share one of the report with you, Sandeep, that you can share it with the members, right?
Yeah.
So that you can get some sort of an understanding about how things works on that particular part.
I've
That
seen a
would be-
DNB report in the past, and I've seen the process. It's actually, unfortunately, like people who are auditing your companies or people who are auditing big companies, they cannot find out any problems or any mistakes or any deliberate acts of mischief. They can only look at documents, and they can look at if the documents are valid. And this is what DNB is doing. What I saw I've had in the past. It could be wrong. I could be wrong now.
Sir, absolutely, I agree with you. But the only thing is, how we get that data is we are already associated with legal counsel. We are already associated with RBI. We are already associated with different banks. So even SBI, all the nationalized private bank uses our report. So even if you are going to open up a LC, or if you are going to a bank for your working capital, they will ask for that particular DNB report. And that DNB report we usually publish across, basis on different factors that we have.
So you
just
do go
to
into
add,
multiple inquiries.
Deepak, just to add what Amanpreet is saying, any report of any type can only predict and tell you the knowledge about the past. What is going to happen tomorrow? I mean, we have seen the blue chip companies going bankrupt, so nobody can predict that. So I'm sure that the due diligence done by them. I mean, I'm not saying that whatever data they have is going to make sure that it's like 100%. You have to safeguard your payments from all different ways, like Dushyant was saying, in terms of insurance, in terms of consignment thing, checking the credibility of the buyer and all that stuff. So it is a combination of all the things.
I agree with you. I mean, basically, nobody can predict the future.
Yeah.
My question was based on how thorough is the Dun & Bradstreet survey.
Okay, how thorough they are. So that's Amanpreet, you need to answer.
So
I should add to my question, please. I'm sorry. I'm
No
just
worries.
being, not being difficult, but I've had an experience. That's what I'm saying. I want to add to my question. You cannot, you see, most payments which get stuck, I would divide them into two parts. One is the company doesn't have the money and doing badly, which Dun & Bradstreet can find out, right? And second is the intention of the buyer.
Mhm.
And that is something that cannot be made out from a cursory audit of the company. That a past record can show a trend, yes. If the company is defaulted on 50 different buyers in a short period, that the past record is not good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have projections based on that, or what is the projection based on? Sandeep, I'm talking about the human factor in this.
Got it. I know, I can understand your question. So let Amanpreet answer on that.
So obviously, as Sandeep rightly said, we really can't give you the 100%, assurance, like, whether this company is really genuine or not, right? But certain on basis on factors or data that we have collected from different, associations or different bodies altogether, that give you the indication whether you should be going at dealing with this company with complete credit, or is it basically, you have to have a different, terms and conditions assigned and other things in place, right? So like insurance company, right, which Dushan might be using, right? They might be having, these kind of things available wherein they're checking the credibility on those particular, players, and based on that, they're putting the insurance out, right? So same goes for us also, right? We really can't give you the 100% accuracy sort of thing, like, this is what it is, right? But we'll give you the indication, which will help you to understand which way you have to go. Whether
So
you
it's like working with a blind eye and working with some information, which is
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Vivek, please go ahead. You've been waiting for long, Vivek.
Thank you, sir. My question for DNB is regarding country. So previously, I've had experiences through such data companies. For example, Salesforce also had a data sourcing thing, and the other companies also. And we always see that US का data सबसे rich होता है, no?
Correct.
So DNB का मुझे देखना था कि for the other countries how effective they are,
हाँ.
कितना data मिल सकता है.
Correct. So I think Vivek, आप यहाँ पर भी सही हो क्योंकि I was just coming to that particular point only. I think वो मेरे से वहाँ पर miss out हो गया था because when I was trying to give you the presentation. So we are again, from our perspective also we are very strong in US. So that's the first more preference that we have, then followed by UK, followed by Middle East, Africa, and other location, right? But the simple reason is, when we look around, the other location like Europe, right? There is a GDPR rule which is there. We really can't publish the email IDs over there. So right now, whatever data that we have, most strongest one is basically the US one, wherein we have the email IDs available for US, Canada, Ireland, and UK region, right? So even for Europe, Middle East, Africa, and other location, right, we have the contact details available. We can give you the concerned person name, designation, contact number, but there won't be email IDs available. So the only difference between US, UK, Canada, and Ireland, and the other location is the email ID. So for these 4 locations, you can get the email ID. But for the other location, without email ID, you can get everything else. Except email ID, you can get everything else. So
is it only for, what percentage of emails would be there? Like, for example, you're talking about, say, that Latin American countries.
Yeah.
You have places like, Mexico or Ecuador and all those countries. What percentage of emails would be there or they won't be there?
So they won't be there because we covered the northern part of America, like North America and those kind of location in place. Latin America again comes in Brazil and Mexico, wherein we don't have the email IDs available. So North America, if we look around as a region, right, wherein we have the starting from New York to other location which is there, right, you can have most of the details available. In total, right now we have about 36 million email IDs available. I would say more than 80% of the email IDs are basically from US, then followed by UK, Canada, and Ireland location which is there. So mostly the email IDs are there from US part of it. That is one. Second thing, when we look around the Africa, Middle East, and those kind of location, right? These are emerging markets, right? We do have vendors over there from where we're sourcing this particular data, but again, the authenticity of the email ID, we are not getting it. So we're not able to publish anything on our platform until unless we are not sure about it.
Okay. But other information like the company, import, their credibility, their buying pattern, and everything is available except for the email.
Except for the email ID. So let's say, an example, if someone wanted to find out the spice importers in Africa, or maybe dry fruit importers in Africa, or maybe another location, right? They can get those kind of details of the company, which are the name of the company, which are the company which are there, where exactly they're located, who are the key people in those organizations to whom you can approach. Contact numbers are going to be there, the board line numbers that we have, right? The email IDs won't be there, but we have the social media handle, like LinkedIn profile, Twitter, and other profile, right? So through which people can
of the person or the company?
Of the people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Vivek,
One more
question.
question.
Yeah, Vivek.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. One more question.
Yeah.
If we approach ECGC, for example, they also give the credit report, credit rating of the buyer. So how different is DNB from ECGC rating?
So it's the same thing because we are partnered with ECGC. So whatever reports they take it from us. So we are in collaboration with ECGC and we have been working, with them since pretty long, right? So they know about, different thing, and we have done different kind of events also with them city-wise, wherein we have invited different, exporters to be a part of ECGC council and other things also to be part of seminars and different things also. So whatever reports they publish, they get it from us and then publish to the, exporters, who are a partner with them or who are on their panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, when I was talking to them, they gave me your name that we take data from DNB plus some other third-party agencies.
Maybe.
So it seems your contribution, I just want to understand how much is your contribution with ECGC.
So I need to check that because I don't have the specific answer in terms of ratio, like how much it would be. But I can just tell you one thing, from ECGC also, we have been working from more than 15 years. which is there.
Okay.
Right. So we are one of the prominent partner for them in different aspects, different things altogether. And as I said, for the dance verification and those things, nobody else does. So definitely the dance number and the credit score, is being provided by us only to them. But there are some other elements also that they cover from other agency which they're talking about. Right. So I need to check about the complete engagement because that's a different team altogether who take care of those kind of things. I might not be having the complete information, so it would be not right to comment on everything, but most of things could be covered, from DNB to them.
Right. Thanks a lot. My
Thank you,
questions are-
Vivek. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dhruv, please go ahead.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi, Dhruv.
So I have this particular question. I recently took a demonstration of Panjiva, which is by S&P. It's a similar data providing company. So how does DNB Hoover differentiate itself from Panjiva?
So again,
Which one you said, Dhruv? Which one is that?
Panjiva by S&P.
Okay, Panjiva by S&P. Okay.
So basically, they have the shipment data available, which they have procured from customs. Like, what sort of shipment are going out and in, within India or outside India, and which are the players. But again, when we look around on the contact side or the contact detail side, they won't have those kind of details available. Even the company profiles are not available. So they'll give you one sort of data which we don't provide as an, the custom data which is not available with us, right? And most of the companies are using, DNB Hoovers as well as Panjiva also as a combination to get both the details. So they get all the shipping details from Panjiva, and when they want to contact the concerned person, they use DNB Hoovers to get in touch with those particular people in line.
Understood. And when we talk about other contact details providers in the market, we have Lucia and Rocket Reach, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the price benefit. If I go with Hoover and if I go with Lucia, how it's going to be, how the comparison is going to be.
Look, both the companies or those companies and, are working on a different model altogether. So those are basically working on the crawlers. So basically they are extracting the database, whatever is available on the web. And sometimes we don't even get, those kind of details also. And most of the information are basically personal in nature, which is maybe the email ID and those things also, which we don't publish, on our platform, right? Now, is as far as the, obviously price comparison is there, we charge you for a subscription-based model for a year. They also have a subscription-based model wherein they give you the limit that you can only extract these many contacts in a month. And once you, consume that, you have to buy more downloads to it, right? But in our case, we don't put the restriction on the viewing part, but yes, there is a restriction on the, download part. Again, when you're coming from Winning Mantra, there will be different pricing altogether. So just to give you a heads up to everyone, on the pricing front also, right? We usually charge about 1.75 lakh for this particular subscription for a year. But if you're coming from Winning Mantra, that is from 1.25 for a year. So there is a straightaway discount of about 50,000, which is going to be there and given to all your partners which are there with Winning Mantra.
Okay. And is there a trial version for a week or few weeks
We
available?
can give it you for a couple of days. You can try our product and see how things are there. If in case you wanted to even go for one-on-one training also before using the trial, we can even have those kind of sessions also wherein we can take you through to make you understand about how you can find out the relevant buyers for your specific industries. So if you're dealing into very niche or specific industry also, we can help you out. We have even helped the companies in the past who are actually manufacturing the agriculture equipment also, which is basically the blades and other things also, which is there. So to that niche level also, you can find the database on our platform.
Understood. And just one last question.
Please.
So people are using CRMs everywhere now. So if I wanted to ask if Hoover is an open API software.
We are working on it, but right now we have an integration with SFDC, Microsoft Dynamics, or Oracle Eloqua. We are working onto an open API sort of thing or open integration sort of thing wherein you can get it combined with Zoho, with HubSpot or other things also. It's on the pipeline. I won't be having the exact date when all the integration would be out, but yes, it's in a process, right? So it will be out soon because it's a demand of an hour. Every kind is looking for those particular things. So we have talked about it internally and things are there. So because all our decision has to be born and brought up from US to India, right? So once that thing get implemented over there, it will automatically get implemented to all the other locations, right? But yes, it's on the cards right now.
Aman, thank you, Dhruv. Great questions. Yeah, Gagan, is saying something.
I was saying, Aman, if that happens, that is really wonderful because we are talking about a lot of SMEs here, and SMEs do
Correct.
not really have, many of them don't have oracles of the world and all that, you know. So,
Correct.
and you have, like the way you said, HubSpot, Zoho, CRMs and all that. And if that is possible, I think it'll be a game changer, definitely. Yes.
Absolutely. We are eagerly waiting for that particular part because that will actually help us out to increase the value proposition also, right? But again, everything is there, you know, from when we look around, you know, from the enterprise point of view. If I would have been SME and I wanted to deploy something, I can deploy something maybe over a night. But over here, there are different things that are there, you know, in the structure form. But it's there, as I said, you know, it's on the cards. It will be out soon. We don't have the specific date as of now, but it will be out soon for everyone.
Super. Thank you. Thank
We
you so
have
much.
3 more people to raise hands. We'll go with Ajay, then Anil, and then Deepak again. So after that, we have almost time. So of course, you have coordinates from Amanpreet, Nikhil, and also Dushyant. Any question you want to ask, anything you want to ask, please write to them, call to them, send them a message. They will be absolutely ready to help you out. Ajay, please go ahead, and then Anil. Ajay.
Hi, Aman. See, actually, you are talking about a product that is a cloth, but I'm into a very niche market, as you were telling about. I'm into agri-health product called Moringa. You can find in my name. Now, I just wanted to know, like this specific product, can DNB have a database regarding the buyers in US and across the world?
So maybe we can find that particular thing. We already have the credential for Nikhil available with you. You can drop us an email with your requirement. Obviously, you know, probably we just need to see across, you know, which is the relevant code that actually fits in for your industry to get the right results in place. Because usually what happens is when we look around the known industries like clothing and apparel, or maybe something into, you know, health or healthcare side, or maybe something into, you know, handicrafts or those kind of things. These are easily mapped in, you know, things sort of things. But in case, you know, yours is a very specific niche, I'd need to see which particular column they're falling under. We would be having those kind of company because, as I said, the total number of companies on our database is more than 256 million. So that contain those particular companies, but we just need to figure it out, you know, which specific codes are there to get the right industries for you, or right companies for you.
Okay, what I will suggest is write them an email with the product and also the HSN code.
Absolutely.
We'll be able to search the products, and if they have data, they'll share. They have a data, and you can take it forward.
That would be great.
HSN code will be
Okay,
there. If you share the HSN code, that will make sense also because we can tag the thing from the SIC and other things also, and we can give you the relevant codes that we have.
Okay. Again, the HSN code up to how many digits DNB is able to track?
So we don't track the industry right now from HSN. We have SIC and NASS code, that is North America Industry Classification Code and Standard Industry Classification Code that we there. But when you send me the HSN code of any number, right, I'll get it mapped internally with those particular codes and give you those particular codes, like, you know, which specific codes you can use to extract the data from our platform.
Sure, great.
Thank you, Anil. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you,
Thank you, Sandeep and Gagan, for this evening. And both the sessions have been quite informative. A lot of information for new exporters like us. I have this question from DNB team, Amanpreet. You know, I have been using DNB sometimes to check about some prospective buyers, but I never happened to check my own company. So while attending this session, I just typed and I could see that my company is also there. But I am quite surprised the information whichever is available is not right. You know, I am into handicraft exports and it says jewelry, luggage and leather. I'm in none of these categories. So, and I don't know about the rest of the information because that is logged. So, you know, I have this question: when my information about my company is not right, how do I trust the credibility of the or authenticity of the information available about other companies? And what is your source of information? Like, nobody has ever contacted me. I have never contacted DNB. From where have you got this information?
So you answered my question, Anand, and thank you for, you know, pointing out that particular part. The thing is, you know, whatever details are available on online or maybe on public portal, right? You know, for your company, it might be somewhere that, you know, those particular taggings are there. And that's why, you know, it got tagged to us also for those particular companies. Usually what happens is most of the company which we have, about more than 95% companies, right? They are DUNS verified by themselves. So they come to us for DUNS verification, wherein they publish the data to us in terms of which specific industry they are into with their financials and all, right? And when you do that, right, it gets updated automatically with the same, credential that you're looking at, right? But sometimes what happens, whatever details are available online, sometime in some of the public domain, it is tagged into that particular category, and that's why it got picked from there. Because whatever Google, give you certain details, or certain other, public domain give you that particular details, it sometimes combine those particular details in place.
But honestly, I'm not convinced, because there has been no communication between DNB and Opulence, my company. Absolutely. And this lockdown period, provided ample time, and I kept searching my company name, my own name on Google. I have never come across anything relating our company to leather products. I have not even produced a single item made of leather. So I don't want to challenge your sources, but you say if you are relying on the information available on Google, I'm sorry, Google can give you anything.
Yeah, so that is for those companies, which is not done verified with us. So as I said, more than 95% of companies that we have on our database is somehow have worked with us. Maybe in India, in US, in some other part of the world, and we have got those kind of details in place. In some of the details, which is publicly available, that got tagged for those particular companies, for which we also understand the information might not be correct, right? But you can anyways, come to us and correct that particular information. You can send me all the details, and I can get those things uploaded also. So once you go for a DUNS verification, that's a different, service altogether. In that case, we correct these particular things. But in case you even don't want to go for DUNS verification at this point of time, you simply wanted to, even get your information also corrected, you can write an email to us with your company profile and everything. We'll get that uploaded on our platform.
So my last question, since, I am not a subscriber to DNB, I have not paid anything, but now to get this information corrected, I have to pay to DNB?
So only for the DUNS number you have to pay. So if you don't want you to go for a DUNS number, DUNS verification, you can simply give us the details, which is the
so
right.
You will rectify the information.
We'll rectify it. There is a team who do these kind of activities. So we just need to forward your details to them, and they'll do the action part at their end.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And here is why DUNS number plays a very important role in exporters. As your company is not DUNS verified, so the information is not verified. So if any company is DUNS verified, then you know that all the information provided by Dun & Bradstreet are verified and accurate.
I'm sorry to add here, I don't want to sound like this, but this cannot be a way to have people DUNS authenticated by putting wrong information.
No, as Aman already told, that it got picked up through Google with different taggings and all. All right, so it's not something that has been done deliberately, but it is as per the the application design.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So just to give you one example, small example, we are in association with Apple. So if someone wanted to create any kind of application on Apple Store, they won't be able to do that unless they are not DUNS verified.
True.
So whenever someone reaches to them, Apple asks that particular person, get yourself DUNS verified from DNB. Then only we'll be able to do that. So that is the source that we are talking about, the kind of assurance and trust people of the companies are having on us. And as I said, it's a 200-year-old company in the market. So we have been giving something in the market. That's why we have been surviving.
No, I'm not questioning, because as I said, I have been using whatever free information has been available on DNB, and it has been useful to me sometimes. As I said, I just happened to check my own company, and this is the information I found. So I shared it.
Right. So कुछ information कहीं पर गलत भी हो सकती है. 100% accuracy is a data very dynamic in nature and changes very frequently. Right. So उसमें हर कोई nobody can offer you 100% accuracy. As you said, we are using other services and other information also which is correct. तो हो सकता है कि आपकी information.
I hope so.
So I think just to jump in here, although it's a far comparison, but not only the DNB, Anil, a lot of other companies, including Just Dial, India Mart, they all catalog each and every person's information and then call you to verify whether this information is correct or not. So that happens quite often. But yes, it is something which is a matter which you definitely can take up as a separate note. Your point is valid. and you definitely would not like to be seen the way you are currently being seen.
Absolutely, that's the concern. You know, if somebody is checking,
you can get
if
those
somebody is
information.
checking us on DNB, so at least
Yes, it is.
we
Yeah,
should be
I'm
in the
sure
right
like
category. That's all.
Anil is working with a lot of clients in US and other places, and I mean those guys might be checking. So definitely,
Yes.
Anil, write an email straight away. Let them help you to
If
change
you're
that.
already working with the US client, you should go for DUNS verification, because अगर आपके पास DUNS number और DUNS seal आपकी website पे आ जाएगा, they will not need to know any other details because that is already verified. So that is the kind of assurance that you will get from that particular service. But again, that's just complete at your discretionary whether you want to go for that service or not.
Sure, sure.
So,
Okay, guys, I think we are almost at the time. So I would like to thank the team from Dun & Bradstreet, Nikhil and Manpreet, and also Dushyant for coming and joining our team at Winning Mantra. And thank you everyone for joining us. We will keep coming with such sessions. I mean, whenever we get some more inputs to be shared with you guys. And yes, as I said, that we are coming to your cities now. Wherever you are, we will be in touch, and looking forward to see you all in your cities. And those of you in Delhi NCR, we have a session coming up at the end of September. I'll share the more details with you. We look forward to meet you. Even if you don't want to join the training, come over and chat with us. You know, we always have time in the evening. Gagan and me would be happy to host you there.
Yes.
So we'll be there
because
we are based out of Gurgaon. So since you're coming on 24th, 25th of September, we'll definitely meet you.
come and meet you.
We are here only in Gurgaon and Delhi. I'm in Gurgaon, Sandeep is in Delhi. So, but before I actually also thank all the others, I would request all the team, all the people who are here, you know, our 2-day session, which we are conducting. The second day, as Sandeep mentioned, is going to be advanced set of trainings, which even you also haven't gone through. You have gone through our 6 weeks program, but we are bringing in some very new trainings which you can do on the day 2. So you have the option to only opt for day 2, being our privileged trainees and attendees in our previous training sessions as well. But otherwise, for any new company or any new person who wants to attend, it'll be a full 2-day workshop they have to attend, right? And on behalf of Winning Mantra, I would also like to thank Nikhil, Amanpreet, as well as Dushyant. I know there haven't been many questions for Dushyant, but I can guarantee you guys, once you get verified or once you take verification from Nikhil and Aman from Dun & Bradstreet, you will need capital to go forward if you really want to take things forward. So complete the loop. That's what I would say. Have a conversation. You never know that you might just find opportunities of working together. A question from Akshita, I would say. Akshita, go ahead. We can't hear you.
We're not able to hear you, Akshita.
Sorry. No,
your voice is not coming.
some
Can you
problem.
put your question in the chat, Akshita, if you want to?
A quick question actually. So what's the pricing model for DNB?
So I'm not sure. Ajay, you asked this question.
Ankit is asking.
So Ankit, usually we sell this at 1.75 lakh for a year, but since you're coming from Winning Mantra, specifically from Sandeep and Gagan, so there is a discount of about 50,000 rupees upfront, right? So this subscription will cost you about 1.25 lakhs without any restriction for any location. There is only a restriction of download, that you can download 5,000 records into an Excel sheet in a year, right? That means 5,000 clients you can download into a year. But if you're just viewing the database on screen, there will be no restriction to that.
Okay, sure.
One disclaimer I'd like to add: both me and Gagan are part of BNI, and BNI, every meeting we say one thing. Those of you who are in BNI will understand that line. We say that there are no commissions in BNI. So I would like to just share that there are no commissions in Winning Mantra. We do negotiate with DNB and Drip Capital, but everything is coming to you guys. We just want to add value, and that is what we are here for.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Gurmeen, any question?
I don't have any question, but then I would just want you to say that, as you said, that you do negotiate with people, but please do talk to Drip Capital, as they are not supporting the new exporters. They said that they need some cap. So because of that, I so wanted to ask some questions, but then because as they announced that they are not supporting the newcomers, so I was just like did not ask anything. So I would request Dushyant that you should please come up with either pre-finance or, even for the post-finance, don't keep this cap, because otherwise people like us who are just starting or getting into exports, we will not able to get into it otherwise.
All right. Okay.
Just to take that question, ma'am, we are planning to do that in the next 2 quarters. We hopefully plan to become an NBFC. Once we do that, we have a lot more avenues for you, right?
Super.
So we have that feedback, we've taken that, and we're incorporating that.
Would love to hear from you.
So
then.
Gurmeet, already I had a talk with a couple of people from Trip, and I told them that there's a lot of budding exporters and startups who are looking for this. I was aware of this clause that Dushyant shared today. In fact, I think earlier it was more. I think just reduced it for the number of. Otherwise, it was number of exports done and stuff like that. So they have kind of made it easier now for people who are exporting. But for startups, I'm sure they are looking at new avenues, and they know that India has a lot of MSMEs who are kind of building it up. So I'm sure they'll come with a solution very, very soon.
Sounds good. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, Gurmeet.
Answer Akshita's question. Akshita, you mentioned whether there will be something new in our in this offline training. So as I mentioned, day 1 there will be a lot what you've already done, but day 2 will be a wonderful new set of sessions which we'll be conducting, and that is why for our past participants we are opening day 2 only, right? That's the idea which we are talking about. So you will definitely be benefited tremendously on day 2. So if you want to be there physically, that'll be really wonderful. Okay, now Nikhil and Aman, there have been questions about DUNS verification, and I believe you mentioned that there is a separate team which takes care of that. So once I'm sure you've already given your details, and we will also share it in our group. Please do share the details with them about the DUNS verification so that they can get things going. And I know that there's still a lot of questions going. I'll take one last question from Ajay and maybe Deepak. Then we will kind of close the session. People have just been asking questions. Go ahead, Ajay, and then Deepak.
Very crisp question to Dushyant. See, Dushyant, I just wanted to know how competitive is the interest rate as compared to some of the renowned banks like ICICI or any specific banks?
So when you talk about banks, yeah, definitely we're a little higher than banks. But when you talk about the other banking, the other factoring companies, we are on par with them. So banks also usually give you interest rates. Their interest rates are also somewhere between 8 to 9%. But the advantage with banks is that you get an subsidy, right? So 3% subsidy that effectively makes it 5%, right? So with banks, we definitely are a little expensive, right? But our advice to most exporters that take us is don't look at us as a substitute, but look at us as a complement. So you have your banking limits and you need something over and above that, so we can do that.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Dushyant. Go ahead, Deepak. Last question, and then we close.
Yeah, I want to go back to what one gentleman said about credibility, and when he found out about DNB for his own company, there was a wrong product mentioned there. They've not touched leather, they've not touched other products. They're into handicrafts. Now, I want to ask this question, DNB specifically, because that is what is going to be determining whether we go in for that or not. When you look at a buyer or a seller, do you also examine their past payment record for a year or two? See, I'm asking this question why? Because even ECGC has a clause in the policy which says that if the buyer refuses payment for any reason whatsoever, then ECGC is not liable. I mean, the ridiculous clause, but they have it. If you go through your policy, you will see it. So I'm asking that perhaps the only way to establish credibility is to see the past payment record of that buyer, or the past payment record or past shipment record of the seller. I'm asking this question specifically from DNB.
Yeah, thank you for this question, Deepak. Yes, we do capture those kind of details because, as I mentioned, we do capture and see the payment habits which was there in the past and what exactly they're doing right now. And basis on that, we come up with the DNB scoring and whether it's a low risky company or high risky company or medium risky company. So that includes the payment part also, whether they have they defaulted on certain loans in the past, or how they have made the payment to their vendors, was there on time or not, right? Is there any other litigation that are happening around? So we look around from the financial perspective as well as from the legal perspective also for every company. And there are other factors also that we consider to look around to see, how things are there. And sometimes we even give you the context also that if you're going to deal with this company, within next few years, this company will be bankrupt because they don't have those kind of financial funding available in the market right now. So you have to be very cautious when you're dealing with these particular players, and that's why every company, whether it's a small player or large players who's exporting or importing or doing some business with any company outside India or maybe within India, they look for these kind of reports. And even bank trust on these particular reports, when you go ahead and open the LC, in different banks altogether.
Got it. Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Deepak, for asking questions. Always a pleasure. And thank you so much, Nikhil, Aman, as well as Dushyant, one more time for being generous in giving your time here and helping people get some answers. I know they have tons of queries, and I'm sure after this as well, you will get a lot of queries. So thanks again for being here and spending just close to about 2 hours with us. Thank you. I would like to thank, on behalf of Winning Mantra, every one of you who were here. And I hope this session added value to you, some information to you, which can actually help you get better at the way you do exports. Thank you so much for this. And we are definitely looking forward to looking at more such initiatives. And of course, the new set of business partner opportunities as well as the offline training. Sandeep, one last closing comment, and then we call it today.
Yeah, again, thank you very much once again, and looking forward to work with those of you. We have got so many. Earlier also, we got so many interests, and now we got today also we got quite a lot of them. We're going to start working on that and start with few cities first. Work on the model and kind of grow the business, and then looking forward for more and more partners. Thank you so much once again, and those of you who are in Delhi NCR, looking forward to see you on 23rd and 24th of September. Bye-bye. Take care. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.